Hi guys, in today's tutorial I'd like to revisit one of my old designs and show you how to build a villager trading center. So how this works is you have your villagers in some cells, can trade with them, and if you don't like one of these villagers you can just press a button and get rid of them, and if you hook it up to a villager breeding cell you can then refill the villagers right here, and if they're coming up they will search for an empty cell, fall into that, and just fill the cells from the left to the right, so you can sort and trade with your villagers. So yeah, that's all of the demonstration. Let me show you how to build this. To start off, you need to decide how many villager cells you want to have in your setup. So I decided to have 6 cells, so I have a line of blocks with 6 buttons. And now we just need to build the villager cells behind them. Therefore we go to the back and place redstone dust underneath the buttons. Then place a fence gate here and dig down 4 blocks, 2, 3, 4, and create a channel, then go into the side here. And we'll continue this whenever I have all the cells here in place, but let's continue first. So this button here controls the fence gate, and so with the button you can get rid of the villagers. Then you can encase this in some blocks, just make it too high. Then come to the back here, place a block, and on that block we want a tripwire hook, and same on the front here, so block there, tripwire hook, and then of course we need a string in the middle, so when a villager is standing inside, he's activating the tripwire, and technically he could walk out to the front now. So we can control this problem in 2 ways. You can decide what you want to use. There's one way to use a rail, because villagers can't pass fine on rails, but they technically can get to this rail because it's a too high gap. So the other way you could do is place a daylight sensor or a half slab, because then they can't walk up to there, because there will be a block on top of here. So that's not a too high gap. I like to use the rails because you can see the villagers better from the front then. So I will now continue building these cells next to each other, and then we can continue with the water system. So that is how it should look like now, and if we now go in again and go down here, maybe I have to break the tripwire for that, we can just continue this trench here. So this is for the villagers that we don't want in our system. This is the last cell, so we can dig up here, so we can add another tube here for the villagers that can't find a place inside. And then at this place we can either just put a drop here with lava, or dig down so far that the villagers will die from the 4 damage. And I guess this should be enough. Then coming to the back here, you want to place a sign right here so water can't flow in there, and then you go to the first place here, place just a source block there, and then we want to continue this just by adding a sign underneath wherever there's a block, and one there. So we can add some water here, and as soon as the villagers fall down here, they will get flushed over to the side and fall to their death. So that's that done, and now it's time to think about getting the villagers into the cells, and therefore we want to have another tube on this side where we can bring the villagers in from somewhere underneath, or just you can bring them in from the side too, but I like to have it like this. And then we need some redstone torches, and we want to place them just on top of the tripwire hook blocks, and then we will have some sticky pistons which will sit on top of the redstone torches like this. And then we need to continue these blocks upwards, so we want to have some ice blocks in here. So the pattern is quite easy. You place 2 glass blocks, so 1, 2, and then the third one is an ice block, either packed ice or normal ice, but with packed ice you don't need to be careful with lighting. Then 2 glass blocks and an ice block. And then wherever there's an ice block, we want to have a sticky piston in, whoops, not here, just where there's the ice blocks, we want to have a sticky piston inside there. And then go into the back, we want to connect this by having a redstone torch on the side of this block on top, redstone torch and a block, and same here, torch, block, and if a villager is then standing in the cell here, it will trigger the pistons like this, so it switches over and brings in another water source. When you're at this point, you can grab some signs and just place them on these blocks here underneath the pistons, because that's where our water is going to be on top, and we don't want to have the water flowing down. And then you can also grab some fence gates and place them in front of each sticky piston, because that's how we control the water then. And then we can also continue the blocks over here to the front to bring the signs to here, and then continue the tube a little bit further up. Maybe we can do it like this, because that looks a bit more pretty. And then we can fill in the blocks here in the middle to fill the gaps, and also continue this to the back here. So where there is the tube, we want to have then a sign up here, so the water can't continue this way. And also I forgot to place the glass block here, the last one, and we can continue this to here and just build it around and fill this in. And I guess for the front it's nice if we use glass here to encase it. We need to knock out some of these blocks in just a moment, so if you don't have silk touch, you might want to take a look now first where to place the water, because that's right here. So wherever there's 3 sticky pistons, the last one is where you want to place a block there, and also here, because that's where we then want to place in our water source blocks. And of course 1 water source goes here in the end. And now we can already take some more blocks and place them just on top, and we want to power these, especially these where the sticky pistons, so the fence gates are. So of course you can place a lever on each block, but I guess that it's enough if we just place them here, so we have open fence gates. Now it could look like this. Of course you can also replace the blocks back there with glass if you want to see the villagers swimming up there better, but I think it looks cool like this too. And you can also color code them here somehow if you want to. But now I think it's time to test the thing. Make sure that your fence gates are all closed, so press each button once before you put in some villagers. And of course you would like to connect this to some kind of a villager breeding cell, but I won't do a tutorial for this. But now you can see that the villagers are falling in and therefore extending the water up there, so the next villagers will go in different cells. And now this guy should go into the next cell, and this will go over the ice and fall into the next one. And if you want to get rid of some, you can just, that was not quite right, that wasn't either. You can just press the buttons, and the next villager that will come up will just go into the empty cells, because the water is now shorter again, so they will always fill up from the left to the right. And I guess that concludes this tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and share this video with your friends. And I will see you then in the next video.